All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to unpack a worldview that's, well, it's pretty out there. It mashes up consciousness, crazy advanced technology, and the very nature of reality itself. It is a really complex and fascinating way of looking at the cosmos, so let's get to it.
Everything kicks off with this one giant question. Is evolution just kinda happening on its own, or is something else going on? Some kind of hidden, intelligent process guiding it from behind the scenes? The framework we're exploring today bets big on that second option. And to really get it, we're going to need to learn a few new and, honestly, pretty bizarre-sounding words.
First on the list is noospherics. I know, it sounds like something straight out of a video game, but it's a super important idea we're going to circle back to. Basically, it's the practice of actively engineering our collective consciousness. Don't get too hung up on the how just yet, just let that idea roll around in your head for a bit.
Next up, we have hyperbeings. Now, these are described as trans-dimensional entities, beings who have gone way beyond normal human limits. You can think of them as the potential architects or maybe the inhabitants of this whole system we're about to map out. Just another piece of the puzzle to keep in your back pocket for now.
And the last term for now is tachyonomy. This points to the kind of physics that might make all of this possible. So look at what we've got. We have a practice, noospherics, we have the beings, hyperbeings, and we have the science, tachyonomy. It probably feels like a random jumble of sci-fi words right now, but I promise you, by the end of this, these three ideas are going to snap together and reveal a truly mind-bending picture of reality. So let's get into the nitty-gritty.
So let's start with the absolute bedrock of this new cosmic design. The core concept is that we're living in a cosmos that is deeply fundamentally interconnected. And this isn't just some vague spiritual idea. It's a model where the universe itself is a conscious, thinking entity. And in that kind of universe, there are no accidents.
The name for this foundation is the environmental gestalt. Now, let's not get tripped up on the fancy words. Gestalt is just a way of saying that the whole thing is way more than the sum of its parts. So this is the core belief that reality is one single, unified, conscious system, where every single thing has a purpose. Nothing is random. Nothing is meaningless.
Okay, so if reality is one big conscious system, like a thinking universe, you've got to ask, right? Where's the brain? Where does all of this thinking actually happen? Well, that brings us neatly to our next section, the sphere of mind.
It's called the noosphere. The name comes from the Greek word for mind, which is nous. The easiest way to picture it is to imagine a layer of consciousness surrounding the Earth, just like the atmosphere. It's a living, breathing field made up of every thought, idea, dream, and discovery humanity has ever had.
And this is where the idea gets really specific and kind of wild. The noosphere isn't just a metaphor. It's described here as the planet's newest conscious organ. It's a massive network, a connectome, of all our knowledge with basically infinite storage. And maybe the most profound part? It's seen as the point where physical matter itself, rocks, water, us, wakes up, becomes self-aware, and starts to communicate.
All right, so if the noosphere is the planet's mind, does it have thoughts? Does it have, well, residents? According to this worldview, the answer is a big yes. So let's talk about the key players who are operating inside this sphere of mind.
So the noosphere is apparently home to two main types of advanced entities. You've got the hyperbeings we mentioned earlier, physical or transdimensional beings who used tech or genetics to level up. But then you have something even more abstract, infomorphs. These aren't really beings in a way we'd understand. Think of them more like living ideas or sentient computer code made of nothing but pure information and energy.
Let's stick with hyperbeings for a second, because their job is pretty important. Their role is basically to manage us, the global superorganism. With their souped-up minds, they can process insane amounts of data. Their long lifespans mean they can work on projects that take centuries. And their psychic powers? Well, those let them tap into information that's way beyond human reach. They're basically the system administrators for planet Earth. So, we have this massive sphere of mind, the noosphere. We have these super advanced beings buzzing around inside of it. The next big question has to be, can we interact with it? Can we do anything to it? Can we engineer it? And this is where that first weird word we learned makes its comeback.
And there it is, noospherics. It's defined as the actual practice of engineering the noosphere. So you see, this isn't a passive philosophy. It's an instruction manual.
It's a hands-on method for actively influencing our shared consciousness, using a wild mix of high technology and what you might call metaphysical or even psychic techniques.
So how on earth would somebody actually do noospherics? Well, the source material lays out a process that sounds like it's pulled from both a meditation retreat and a futuristic physics lab. First, you'd map your resonance, which is basically figuring out your own personal energy frequency. Next, you'd design a radionic circuit, but not with wires, with light itself, tuning it to a specific vibe, like creativity or healing. And finally, you could deploy a nanoswarm to pump pure energy into key points in that network. What's really crucial here is the language. This is all framed as precise, repeatable engineering, not just wishful thinking.
Okay, deep breath. We've gone over the sphere of mind, its inhabitants, and the instruction manual for how to engineer it. It's time to zoom all the way out. Let's put all these puzzle pieces together and finally see the single, absolutely mind-bending picture they create.
So what's the end game here? What is the ultimate nature of a reality that has a planetary consciousness, hyper-evolved beings, and the tools to literally engineer thought itself? What does a universe like that actually look like?
The theory has a name, and it's a mouthful. It's called the Grand Panpsychic Solipsism. Whoa. Okay, let's just pull that apart, because panpsychic means consciousness is in everything, and solipsism is the old philosophical idea that only your own mind is sure to exist. So what happens when you smash those two ideas together?
And here it is, the grand finale. This theory says that our entire universe, everything you see, everything you feel, everything you are, is a holographic projection. And it's all being projected from one single, universal, all-mind. So the noosphere, the hyperbeings, you, me, we're all just interactive bits inside this giant cosmic hologram. We're not just living in the universe, we are the universe thinking about itself. And that leaves us with one heck of a final thought, doesn't it? If this whole model of reality is even close to true, if we are all just facets of a single consciousness dreaming it all up, then what exactly is the dream that we're all creating together right now? And what could we create if we finally woke up and started dreaming on purpose?